Good morning, everybody. This is going to be a review for your quiz. I'm doing the Pythagorean identity first, and I decided to grab one of your problems from your homework. I just cut the sheet in half. So right here, I got the Pythagorean identity, and you can rewrite it two other different ways just to make your math easier while you're doing it, but it doesn't matter which one you're going to use. So I'm going to do actually this one down here. I think it's the third one on your sheet. Well, actually it's down here, the fourth one. So if you want to grab your homework, you can look to see if hopefully you checked your answers. So on the Pythagorean identities, this one is where we are given cosine of theta is -5/6. We're told what quadrant it's in, which is very important, which I'm going to do that first in a second, and we're looking for the sine of theta. So since this is in between 1/2 pi and pi, I know that that's between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Now that's important because I need to find out if my sine of theta is going to be positive or negative. So right here, if it's between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, that's going to be in quadrant 2. So since it's in quadrant 2, you need to think of your acronym, All Seniors Turn Crazy. And in quadrant 2, my sine and only sine is positive. Because in quadrant 1, all the signs are positive, like sine, tangent, and cosine are all positive in quadrant 1. Only sine is positive in quadrant 2. Only tangent is positive in quadrant 3. And only cosine is positive in quadrant 4. But since it lies between 90 and 180 degrees, that means my answer is going to be positive. Okay, so I got that part. Now I'm looking for sine, so I'm going to choose to use this formula myself. All right, so I'm going to do all my math up here. I'm going to do the sine squared theta equals 1 minus, and then my cosine is a -5/6 squared. Now, do not change that to a positive. That's what some of you are doing. You square first, and when you square a negative, it's forever a positive. So I get 25/36. And then I'm going to put my minus sign from here back down, not from here, that changes to a positive. I'm going to find a common denominator, which would be 36, so I write 36 over 36, right there. And then when I subtract, I get 11 over 36. Okay, and then this is sine squared theta. And then to get sine by itself, because we're looking for sine, I square root both sides. So I get sine of theta equals, when I square root, you can't square root 11. And then the square root of 36 is 6. Okay, and that's your final answer. And it's positive because it was in quadrant 2. And by the way, I think it was the second to the last one. Some of you left the square root of 75 not simplified. No, you have to simplify that because that can be broken down into 25 times 3. Square root of 25 is 5 radical 3. That was the second to the last one on your worksheet. Okay, so there you have the Pythagorean identities. Now I'm going to go to the worksheet that you had yesterday. And I'm just going to do a couple of them. The answer key I'm going to post about noon today. So if you want to wait to take your quiz after I post the answer key, I'm going to post it a little bit later. So this one just states the amplitude in the period. So I'm going to do number 3. Amplitude is always positive. Your B is always positive. So on number 3, your amplitude is your A. So that would be here. So my amplitude is 4, because the absolute value of 4 is 4. And then to find my period, the formula is 2 pi over the absolute value of B. So there's my B is 1/2, so I'm going to go 2 pi divided by 1/2. So I'm going to go keep, change, flip. So it's going to be 2 pi times 2 over 1, so this answer is 4 pi. So hopefully you already did the homework and you can check to see, oh, I got that one right. Okay, let's go to 5. That's the next one I'm going to do. Okay, so number 5, we have to do the same thing, but we're writing the equation and we're looking at the graph to find. Now, the midline, well, the midline is right here. It's the x-axis. So since the origin goes right through the midline at 0, so then I know that it's going to be a sine graph. And I know that the sine, the next step is going up, so I know that it's going to be, it's not a reflection, so my A is going to be positive. The amplitude, well, it goes up 2 and it goes down 2, so my amplitude is 2. My period, well, let's see. So where do I make a complete cycle? Well, I go 0, max, 0, min, 0. So I make a complete cycle to right here, and that's at 2/3 pi. So my complete period or cycle is 2/3 pi. That's my complete period, 2/3 pi. So to find the b now, because that's what you need to write the equation, I would go 2 pi over b equals 2/3 pi. And then I'm going to crisscross multiply. So when I crisscross multiply, 2 pi times 3 is 6 pi. 2 pi times b is 2 pi b. And then I divide by 2 pi. So this cancels out. This cancels out. My b equals 3. So now to write my equation, and remember this is sine and it goes up, so it'd be y equals, my amplitude is 2, sine of 3x. Okay, so there's my equation for that one. And then if I do the next one I want to do is number 6. All right, G.I. Joe is missing a hand. See which way do I need to go, make sure I'm still on my camera. Oh my gosh, I'm crooked. All right, hang in there, buddy. All right, so my amplitude, okay, I go 3 down, 3 up. So my amplitude is 3. My midline is still here, the x-axis. My period, okay, so look, it doesn't cut through the midline at the origin, so I know it's down here, so it's got to be cosine. So, and look, it doesn't start up, so it's got to be minimum 0, maximum 0, minimum. So my cycle ends right here at pi. So my period is pi. Okay, so let's find our b. So I'm going to go 2 pi over b equals pi. When I crisscross multiply, I get 2 pi equals pi times b. So I'm crisscross multiplying. Divide by pi. Pi's cancel out, b equals 2. So then when I write my equation, now look, it's cosine now. So I would write y equals 3 cosine 2x. But let's go back and look at something. So I started down first. So this is a reflection. So my 3 needs to be negative. Now I added one more thing. Of course, my graphs aren't as pretty as these graphs. This isn't on. I just wanted you to see something. Okay, it's kind of sloppy. But I wanted to show you that this one, because there's really no examples, to find my amplitude on this one, I want you to notice that my amplitude, or my midline, is not the x-axis on this one. Just wanted you to see, like this one goes 1 up, but down here it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So my midline would actually be here at 2. Okay, just so you can notice that. My midline is actually here at 2. So if I wanted my amplitude here, it'd be 2 up and 2 down. So be careful, your midline is not always the x-axis, it just seems that way. And actually, this is actually a sine graph because my midline is down here lower. And then my period would be 0 max, 0 min, 0. I know you can't read that because my dot went right through it, so I drew a little arrow. Your period would be 4 pi. Okay, good luck today on the quiz. Maybe I would check all my answer keys and study. And my meet times have changed, so check them out too. Have a good day. Good luck.